Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Nick and welcome to another speed build. Long time no see, but I'm finally back and I feel that this time I'm gonna be a bit more consistent and a bit more focused when it comes to the channel as well. Actually, a lot of life things happened. I started working a lot more and I kind of felt uncomfortable doing voiceover, but it was also something that I wanted to do here on the channel. So I just had to take some time to understand what I needed to do and feel a bit more comfortable. But I feel that this is the right time to do that. But anyway, today we are actually building a Not So Berry home for the first generation of the Not So Berry Legacy Challenge, which was written by Lil Simsy and Always Simming. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong, but it was definitely Lil Simsy. And the first generation is actually based on the color mint. Now, in case you don't know what the Not So Berry Legacy Challenge is, it's actually a 10-generation legacy where each generation has to follow a specific color. For example, the first generation is based off of the color mint, which means that you have to customize your sim based on that color, build their house around that color, and they also have personality traits that are based on that color as well. So the first generation is actually a vegetarian, materialistic, and jealous sim, which are all personality traits that have the color green in them. And I know that it's actually a pretty popular challenge, and that's something I would also like to do here on the channel. So this is why I'm building this one. I actually have another speed build on my channel that it's pretty old. It's like 1.5 years old or maybe 2 years old, but that was built a long time ago, and it doesn't really resonate with me anymore. It's not in the way I build, I feel, because a lot of time has passed since I last uploaded, but I was always building during that time. I never stopped building actually, so I feel that it would be a fun idea to kind of take some of my older videos and try and rebuild them to see how things have changed and how I would build them today. So in case you're interested in that, let me know down in the comments below. But for this one, actually, I thought that it would be a good idea to build this in Evergreen Harbor because it's a more, I say, modern / industrial world. And because the first generation of Not So Berry has to be a scientist and they are also materialistic, I thought that it would be a nice world because I don't think they would live in a world like, let's say, Oasis Springs. Maybe they would. Or maybe they wouldn't live in Strangerville. It's like very old. Or Henford or Bagley. I don't think they are a country person. I'm not a country person whatsoever. I prefer living in the city. So I could actually kind of identify with the first generation of Not So Berry. But I really like this world actually. You may notice that there are some differences in the world around it because I did activate some of the action plans that come with the Eco Lifestyle expansion pack. So this means that if you activate those action plans, the world around you is gonna change. So we have this sunflower pattern on the road, which I really like actually. And there's also some other decorations on the right side of the lot as well. You might not be able to see them properly because the screen moves around too much. But speaking about the build itself, I actually was looking at a reference photo I found on Pinterest, which was from a from a mid-century modern build where we had the garage on the ground floor and then there was a staircase on the side leading up to the first floor where the main entrance was supposed to be. But because we don't have garages in The Sims 4, I decided against that and I placed the entrance on the ground floor. And we also have this big porch where I placed some seating, a couple of, I'm not really sure if they're called couches, like outdoor couches, if that's a thing, but we have some seating space outside and we also have a backyard. Now the backyard isn't very big either, but judging by the size of the lot, because I think this one is only a 20 by 15 if I'm not mistaken, I think that the house came out pretty big, and also we have the backyard that it's pretty spacious as well, so I don't think we really need any more space than that. But another fun fact is that this is actually the third or fourth time that I'm building this. Now, the first time I tried to build this was just to get a general idea of how I wanted the build to look, but it was a very, very long time ago. I was still thinking of coming back to creating videos and speed builds, but you know, I just tried to build that to kind of see how it would turn out. And then the second time I wanted to record it, I think, and my settings were off, so the quality of it was very bad. And then I don't really know what happened the third time, so this might be the third time or the fourth time. I'm pretty sure it's the fourth time, but I don't know what happened the third time I built this. But to be completely honest, I'm very happy that there were so many, let's say, revisions of this build, because the first version actually had 2 bathrooms, one on the ground floor and then another one on the first floor, if I'm not mistaken. But there's no need for 2 bathrooms in such a small build, even though we might have our family live here when we start having kids. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I'm building this for my Not So Berry Legacy gameplay that might come out here on the channel at some point. I'm not really sure. I might have mentioned it, but I can't remember. But I really enjoy the exterior of the house, actually. To be honest, mint was a color that felt kind of intimidating for me, especially for the exterior, because we don't have a lot of nice mint colors in the game, especially when it comes to textures. For example, we do have some wallpapers that are like mint but stone, like mint stone, and I don't think that looks very nice or very realistic. And that's something that I want to convey, I suppose, in my builds. I want them to look pretty normal looking, or I don't know, or at least cozy, you know. But I know that there's a lot of people that like to go crazy with color and have every single swatch, every single item be that color of that generation. But and if that's you do you, I don't judge. But for me, it's not something that really speaks to me. I don't really like that sort of vibe. So what I tried to do here is I placed this cream sort of flooring and this darker wood paneling for like accent walls, if that makes sense. And then I played around with some other pops of color. So in the living room that we are starting to decorate now, you might notice that I added a lot of mint colors. I didn't deviate away from the main color of the generation, but there are a lot of items that are different. So for example, we have the sofas, or maybe the love seats, because I placed 2 love seats in the living room that are from high school years. They are mint, but they have these pillows on them that are gray, I think, orange and cream. So I worked off of these colors as well as accent colors. So there's going to be a lot of cream, a lot of darker wood, some orange, some yellows, some purple as well, because I did try and add some other colors to make it look a bit more realistic. Because if you live in a normal house, you won't have every single item being a specific color, unless you like that. Again, I'm not judging, but I really enjoyed the items that we got. Of course, this build is very heavy on packs, and I'm really sorry about that. But when it comes to builds that are for my gameplay or for me specifically, I try to use all the packs I have, because first of all, it's gonna be for me, and second of all, I want to be able and express the kind of aesthetic I have in mind. So this is why it's going to be very pack heavy. Now, in case you don't have all the packs, I suppose that you can always replace some of the items with the packs you own. I don't think that should be very difficult. But for my specific vision, I decided to use all of the packs. But here, as you can see, the living room is pretty much done. There's not too much that's gonna change. So we have the 2 love seats. We have this square table that comes with the Dream Home Decorator stuff. It's not a staff pack, game pack, if I'm not mistaken. At this point, we have so many packs and so many items that cannot really put my finger on which item belongs to which pack. But I really like the living room. I like also the bookcase placed against the wall. I really love that. And I also like the dark wood paneling kind of standing out a bit from the top. Also, I placed this frame TV that we got with one of the kids. It's one of my favorite TVs actually. And I also used, I think, a decent amount of the Cozy Kitsch kit as well. This rug from high school years is also one of my favorites. It's the one that has the black swatch with the floral pattern actually, and I really like this rug. I used to not like it, but as I was watching more speed builds throughout the years and saw more people using it, it kind of grew on me, to be honest. But it's a very nice rug. What I noticed is the Love Struck, and actually High School Years has a lot of nice mint colors. So in case you want to decorate your own not so berry house for the mint generation, maybe you should consider these packs actually. But yeah, High School Years, Love Struck, Dream Home Decorator, and Growing Together. I think they have very nice items. Not all of them are gonna work, but I think these are the most, I don't know, the packs that I use the most. And of course, a lot of the kits. My favorite kits are the Everyday Clutter Kit, the Kitchen Clutter Kit, and also the Bathroom Clutter Kit. These are all very nice items. And yeah, as you can see, I also placed a high table with 2 chairs, because in the first version, I only had a table outside the house in the backyard, and my Sims would go there and eat no matter the weather. Was it raining? Was it snowing? They would always go outside of the house to eat. They would not sit on the sofa, for example. So what I did is that I actually placed the table outside, but we also have this high table inside as well for your Sims to stay in the house when it's raining. I also added those curtains from the Desert Luxe Kit or Desert Deluxe Kit. I'm not really sure, but I really like the color black and the orange curtains, and I think that kind of gave the room the warmth it needed to kind of look a bit more cozy. It is pretty cluttered, not gonna lie. I'm not really sure if this build is gonna run nicely in lower end computers, and I'm sorry about that, but as I mentioned, it's a build that it's catered towards my sort of aesthetic. So in case you have trouble running this build on your computer, maybe you could go ahead and delete some of the items, some of the clutter, so that it can be a bit more functional for you. But I feel that you shouldn't have trouble with this one, because I feel, if I remember correctly, I built this one on my laptop. Now, the thing is that my laptop was a gaming laptop, so it was pretty powerful, but it was running pretty smoothly. It didn't have any issues actually. So I don't know, you can download it and let me know in the comments below, because I'm not really sure what the fine line is between having a build that is cluttered enough and also gameplay friendly. So I don't know if it worked for you, if you had issues with it, or if you also had any routing issues. Now, this one is actually play tested. I didn't have any issues, and if I did go back and edit some stuff, move some things around to kind of open up some space for your Sims to be able to route everywhere. But in case you have any issues, just let me know. I don't think I will be able to go back to the gallery and edit it to have it be more functional, but it would be a nice thing to know so that I can keep in mind for the next builds. But here, moving on to the kitchen, I use these base game counters actually, which I love. These are one of my favorite counters when it comes to more colorful options, but we also have the counters that came with the Home Chef Hustle Kit. or maybe no, it was stuff pack. Yes, it was a stuff pack that come in the color mint, and they are very beautiful. They are one of my favorites, but I'm actually saving them for maybe another mint home, because I don't think this is going to be the permanent house of this generation. I feel that because they are supposed to be a scientist and they are also materialistic, they will try and earn as much money as possible, and at some point I see them moving to a bigger house, a bigger villa or something like that, something mansion like. But as you can see, we now have moved on to the first floor of the house, and first of all we are decorating the bedroom. Now again, I'm using a lot of Love Struck and a lot of high school years because they are so good when it comes to swatches, especially for the color mint, but also for the color red. You need to know that if you want to decorate your own house and you feel kind of lost, you don't know what to use, these packs are going to be a lifesaver. Trust me. Love Struck, high school years, these are the holy grail of the mint color. But here we have this more luxurious kind of vibe and feel. It is pretty small. There isn't a lot of space here actually to add any activities, and there is also a balcony off of the bedroom. However, I didn't place anything functional there because it's only a 1x3 balcony, so if you place anything there, you should have enough room for your Sims to access it. And initially I tried to place a chess table because they also need to work on their logic skill, but this requires a bit more tiles for your Sims to be able to access it, so I deleted it because I didn't have the room, or I didn't have the space. But another thing you could do if you wanted to, I didn't want to do that in my house, but what you could do is to kind of expand the balcony and make it be like a 2x3. I suppose that should be enough room for your Sims to have any sort of activity that doesn't take up too much space. But I used the same curtains in the bedroom as I did in the living room, and I really like the vibes here. It's not too colorful as the living room is, but there is some pops of black and some pops of cream. Cream is a color that I use throughout the whole build, but I really like how it turned out. I'm gonna be saying that throughout the whole speed build, but I'm really proud of how this one turned out. I wasn't expecting it to be this pretty, in my eyes at least, because as I said, the mint color is not something that speaks to me necessarily, and I feel it's kind of a difficult color to work with, and it's also kind of difficult to make it look less or not overwhelming. But here we've moved on to the office space. Now for this one, I used the Comfy Gamer kit for a few of the decorations and also for the desk, which is one of my favorite desks in the whole game. I really love this kit. It was made in collaboration with Lil Simsy, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that some of these items are actually the real items she owns. So that's very nice. And I used one of the rugs, one of the carpets that we got with one of the kits. I think it's the refined living room. There's so many kits, so many packs, and I get lost when it comes to the titles, but it's one of the more recent maybe kits. I think it came out last year, or maybe was it 2 years? If it was 2 years, it's not recent at all, but I really like it. But here what I did, I placed these shelves actually that came with the Comfy Gamer kit, and I placed these stacks of books. One is from the Comfy Gamer kit and the other is from Love Struck, I want to say. I'm not really sure, but I placed those two specifically because I was imagining that the Sim living here likes comedy and romance books, so this is why I decided to place those two items specifically. But we also have the bookcases up against the wall. I really like how big and how wide it looks, and I also placed the Elements collection is it the Elements Collection Display? I think that's what it's called. But you need that item specifically for the scientist career, especially since the first generation of Not So Berry is supposed to be a scientist. It's something that we will need, so I already placed it there. And as you can see, now that I'm decorating the hallway, or maybe the landing of the staircase, you can see that there is a bathroom already decorated, but I filmed the process of decorating this bathroom specifically. But what I did is that I ended up deleting it and I turned it into a gym area, which we will shortly gonna see. But here we have the landing. I placed this wardrobe situation because I didn't really know what else to place there. We also have this blanket and pillow basket, which I felt was very cozy. And now on the item, and now on this wardrobe, is it a wardrobe? I'm not really sure what it's called. Are the taller ones wardrobes and this one is a vanity? I'm not really sure how certain items are called, but I placed a clothing basket, some folded clothes, and a light on there because I felt that they would do a lot of laundry, and they would leave their things here and there. They are a pretty tidy sim, but you know, sometimes they have a lot of work, so they forget to tidy things up a bit. And here I'm adding some decoration in the hallway to kind of make it look a bit more interesting. It kind of felt empty because it was also a very tight space, so I didn't have a lot of room to place things. And here, we're just placing some more decoration pieces. I love adding decorations, and what I love specifically is adding pillows everywhere. Since we got the first pillows with one of the login events, I feel I've been using them all the freaking time. No, actually, we got one of the first pillows in one of the kits. Now I remember, but I love pillows. They go everywhere. I can place them on beds. I can place them on couches. I can place them on pretty much any surface I can find. They are so good, especially when it comes to kids' bedrooms. And if you only use the base scheme to decorate things, I think that the pillows make the whole space look a bit more interesting and a bit more lived in and also inviting, which is very important for my building style. But as you can see, I'm going around the house trying to figure out some more decorations that I can place here and there to make sure that everything looks lived in and nice and cozy. And moving on, we're actually decorating the gym area. Now this one was a bit tricky because I couldn't really figure out how I should orientate the items in order for them to be functional. So initially I wanted to place this treadmill facing the window because I thought it would be a nice idea to have your sim run while looking outside at the view, but that was not functional and it also didn't allow me to add the items I wanted to. So what I did is that I placed it kind of against the wall. I also added those free weights that we got with Adventure Weights, which are very nice. I was hoping that the free weights that we got with Love Struck, which unfortunately they are just decorative, would also be functional, but they weren't. And it really saddens me that they didn't make them functional after Adventure Weights. So I feel that since we got the free weights with the expansion pack, they should have the Love Struck free weights be functional if you owned Adventure Weights, if that makes sense. I hope it does. But we also have the free weights. We have the yoga mat. We have a couple of mirrors because I feel that a gym area needs mirrors. I know that they have those in gyms, so why not in a gym room? And I also added a boxing sack. Is it called a boxing sack? I'm not really sure, but I do have a few items that your sims can work on their fitness. And moving on now, we are in the bathroom, and here it's not the biggest space, but it does have the necessities. And also I placed this shower tub combo because I feel that if we want to get a pet, specifically a dog, we will need the bath to give them a bath, and we will also need it if we start having a family in this house, because I think that if you have a toddler, I'm not really sure if you have to bathe babies, but I think that if you want to give toddlers a bath, you have to have a bathtub. So that's why I placed it there. However, I know that if I wanted to make things a bit more challenging in terms of the money of the household, I could have just went with a shower and then had my Sims earn some money to buy a shower tub combo. But I didn't do that. So finally, we are in the backyard. I did add a few decorative plants to kind of fill up the space. I wasn't really sure what else to add here because we don't have children living here yet. So I didn't add any kids activities. And here we have a makeshift flower bed, I think that's what it's called, with a tree in it. We also have a 4-seater table with an umbrella. We have a grill, and we also have a few plant boxes because I feel that these are things that your sim is going to need if you actually play the Not So Berry challenge, because scientists have to kind of analyze some plants. So I thought that it would be a nice thing to have those little things to kind of help with their career. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I also added a table with a indoor plant at some point. I'm not really sure if you're gonna see it in the speed build because we are shortly reaching its end. So this is about it for the speed build, but let me give you a tour of the house in real time. So this is the build. I really like how the exterior came out. Another thing I forgot to mention is that I added those solar panels, so it should help you reduce your bills. And I don't know what's wrong with my environment because I do have the action plans enabled, but the pattern on the pavement is gone. The details over here are gone as well. So I'm not really sure what's wrong with that. But, you know, Evergreen Harbor is a very glitchy world, so what can you do about it? But as you can see here, we have those flower beds that I created to add some greenery to the house. We have this outdoor sitting space for your friends to come over and sit outside when the weather might be a bit more warm. And here on the first floor, we have this entryway. I really like those suitcases that came with growing together. They just feel so realistic because the sim is supposed to have just moved here. So maybe those suitcases are theirs and they place them here because they're gonna move soon or at some point, so they're always ready. We have some more decorations. They need the alarm, they need the heater, the thermostat, which is actually activated right now. I don't know why. We have the umbrella rack over here, and here is the living room. There is actually a lot of sitting space over here. We have the 2 love seats and the armchair, and I think that they can also sit here. No, oh no, it's actually a table, so no, they can't sit there. We also have the frame TV, the indoor table where they should be using when they want to eat and not go out in the snow. But I really like this one. We also have this little kitchenette here. I did place the separate oven and stovetop because why not? And we also have this little door leading to the backyard. Now here I place this table with the outdoor plant that you should be taking care of because I had a plant planted in there, but it died. And that's very realistic of me. I cannot take care of plants whatsoever. But here we have the sitting space that can seat 4 sims, the grill. We have our plant boxes and also an insect farm. And this sim has their bicycle in the backyard because we don't want Robin to be coming and stealing it. She might try to, but we thankfully have the alarm. Here, moving on to the first floor, we have the bedroom. It's so nice and cozy, and I also added this alarm clock, which is actually functional, so you can set the time. It says set alarm for room. You can set to daytime, and it will go off when you need it, and your sims will actually wake up, which is very fun. And for some weird reason, and it actually works, and it's not buggy. Here we have the office space, we have the desk. So this sim might want to listen to some music while they're doing their homework or their work. They like taking photos. We have those stacks of comics and novels that they like to read. The desktop over here, we have the Elements collection display, some sitting space because they might like to sit there and read one of their books. They have a lot of books, as you can see. We have the landing over here, and finally we have the gym room. I like this sign. It makes it look a bit more gym-like. But we have the free weights, but they are just decorative, but I love them so much, so I had to include them. We also have this boxing item. Is it a boxing sack? Let me know down in the comments below, because I feel that it's not called a boxing sack. But we have the treadmill as well in a mint/green color because we have to be on theme. We also have a yoga mat and the free weights, which are actually functional thanks to the Adventures Await expansion pack, and also a couple of mirrors. So this is the house. You can find it through my EA gallery at Cozy with Nico under the title Not So Very Mint Home. As you can see, it uses a lot of packs. Again, I'm really sorry about that. It is on a 20 by 15 lot and it comes at a bit over 66,000, which is a bit expensive, but I don't think it's too bad. And also the lot it was built on is called the Canal Corner in Evergreen Harbor. So in case you're wondering, this is where it goes. But this is for today's video. If you like this one, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and also let me know down in the comments below what you think of this build. Do you like it? Do you not like it? And I would also be more than happy to listen to your suggestions about other speed builds you might want to see here on the channel. Thank you so much again for watching. As always, you can find my builds through my EA gallery at Cozy with Nico, and see you on the next one. Bye!